Hey folks, Post here, welcome back to another Poem Master video, and as promised, we'll go through some more concept entries. So first of all, again, thanks to everyone who did participate. If you guys do want to, work on some concepts as well, you can join the Discord link in the description box down below. So let's get into some of these. First of all, I really like this this Drake concept as a pirate. That will work out really, really well in Halloween. Plus, Drake and Datamined would be a fantastic, sync pair. Works out so well because he's the captain guy, right? Even though Datamined isn't, dragon type and he's dragon type, but it works out well. It works out well lore-wise. Just wanted to point that out there before we get into some of the other stuff that I do want to talk about, right? Oh, first one that we want to kind of go into is this one, Aaron and Scizor by Runner. So there's a few things that I'm not like a huge fan of, but there's a lot of things that I think are fantastic. First big thing is Aaron, the bug type Elite Four, having a steel bug Pokemon, but having it steel type instead of bug type is kind of weird. But when you look at SAD, they clearly just want to make it bug type or steel type instead of bug type because of the moves, Bullet Punch and stuff like that, right? So, anyways, let's get into the stuff here. If I could open the original, please, or else it's like too small. Okay, so Scizor, it is attack, right? It's attack. Its stats are unconventional, to say the least, for attack. So it has over 200 special defense, almost 300 defense, and almost 400 attack, at level 125. And then, mediocre speed and almost no special attack. And okay-ish HP. I guess not the worst, but it's not anything amazing either. As for the moves and stuff, right? So it has U-turn, which I think is very interesting. And I'll go over why I think it's really interesting in a bit, right? Later when we talk about the Synchrid. So U-turn, what his concept over here is a 3-gauge move, 85 power, 100% accuracy, physical. Isn't it supposed to be bug, not steel? Anyways, he had the bug logo here, but wrote steel for some reason. I think it's bug. Changes target order in which the opposing sync pairs will target your team, making the user go from third to second, or second to first target, reapplies all entry effects. So, that would be very, very interesting because, this guy's defenses are really, really good. So, you could definitely tank a decent amount of hits, and we'll talk about it more so when we look at the rest of its kit because it really synergizes well with a lot of the rest of its kit, right? So, moving on, got Iron Head, chance to flinch, right? Let me take you on, which is the trainer move. Makes users gradually heal itself if the user's attack or defense stats have been raised. The amount of increase is doubled. If Scizor has Mega Evolved, also refreshes the number of times the user can use its quick moves by 3. Steel Wing has a very small chance of raising the user's defense. And then the Sync move, and does 47 damage, I guess. Sync move, top level Bullet Punch. Becomes Mega Scizor. The more defense raised, the greater power of the Sync move. Pretty standard for, attack Mega, right? Passive skills, Fierce Entry 1, and then Speed Entry 1. Raises your speed when it enters the battle, and then attack when it enters the battle as well. So you could double that and then make it, instead of +1 speed and +1 attack, you can make it +2 attack and +2 speed. And if you double that again, that will be +6 speed and +6 attack. Something else you could do, right? Since U-turn can reapply your entry skills, right? So if you U-turn, you change your target priority, and then you increase your priority, but you also get the passive skills in there again, so it'll be at +2 attack and +2 speed. So just one Let Me Take You On could get you max attack and speed, which is fantastic, right? So, moving on to its Mega Form, which I find is pretty interesting as well, is the Mega Form actually kind of sort of changes from this tech unit into more so of a striker, right? And you see that with a lot of support and tech megas, right? Sabrina, I guess, is the really, big one that comes to mind. Sabrina obviously is support, but once you turn into mega, you're very much, support move, a side beam with 2 move gauge refreshes, turns into psychic, which is 3 gauge, obviously a very powerful move. So yeah, it does kind of remind me of stuff like that. So it's not uncommon to see techs or supports turn into strikers after the mega. After the mega, first of all, the attack stat goes through the roof. The defense stat, gets a huge increase as well. And then you have bullet punch to replace U-turn. And that's basically the main difference in terms of Mega Scizor. What I really, really like about this is in combination with U-turn and the Synchrid, which they made as well, right? The Synchrid over here is really nice because you have recuperation. So basically what this unit is trying to do is you come in, you maybe immediately U-turn, so you change the target priority, so you start taking hits instead, right? Instead of your tank, we have Scizor taking hits. And again, Scizor has really, really good defenses, so Scizor really doesn't have any issue taking hits. And after 3 turns, you take a decent amount of hits. Your tank, on the other hand, is very, very much, healthy. And then you sync, and then you heal up with recuperation. So you basically get like 3 free turns of tanking, right? Unless they just like hit you super, super hard with like super effective. Otherwise, it's basically free 3 turns of tanking over there with recuperation. And by then, with all the other stuff with U-turn, you get, +6 attack, +6 speed. And then with those +6 attack, +6 speed, once your damage redirection is over, which is also, about as long as the length of a sync move cycle. Once you sync, you become more of a striker, and then you could have your tank come back and start tanking hits again. And then you sit in the back and do striker stuff. Well, the tank, as a tank, it basically took no damage. And since you were, helping out on a lot of that stuff, right? Let's see. As for some other stuff, got Quick Cure, which is very, very, very nice, just in case, you get screwed over in the first few turns of tanking, because, again, not a really tank-oriented kit, right? The stats are, the kit really isn't. As for some other stuff, U-turn, MPR, MGR, whatever, you do have the MPR, I think that's 2, right? On your trainer move if you want to refresh more. Bullet Punch has got Bullet Punch, Eagle Eye down here. Harry, I think that's 6. Yeah, this thing's going to hit like an absolute truck. Already has like insanely high, offensive stats. And then you get something like Harry 6, right? It's going to be incredible. And then 2 aggravation on, okay, this is broken. 2 aggravations on Iron Head. So there's that as well. Dynamic Entry, Tough Cookie. Yeah, this thing's just going to hit like an absolute truck. That's Flinch Hitter 6. I think that's, powers up sync moves by, 6%, if they're flinched. Swag Bag on Seal Wing for some reason. And then, yeah. I personally really like this kit, or this sync per concept. I think it makes a lot of sense, in terms of, how it works, how it synergizes with itself very, very well. And helps out the team a lot. I think this fantastic tech unit that could also change roles and do a lot of damage as well. So, moving on. Let's see. What else do we want to talk about? All right. Let's talk about this sync pair. Greta and Breloom. So, Greta from, I think, the Battle Dojo, right? In Hoenn Battle Frontier. It's 5 stars. In terms of its stats, it is it is listed as a physical striker. Fighting, weak to flying, 4 times weak to flying. Stats, 590 HP, 330 attack, 310 special attack, 160 defense, 160 special defense, 180 speed. So very, very bad speed. Good attack, and okay-ish HP. Defenses are fine, right? So, as for some stuff, by stuff I mean moves, got Giga Drain, X Attack, Focus Punch, and the trainer move Mind Skill and Body. This move cannot be used twice in a row. This move has a different effect based on the next move used. If Giga Drain is used next, the user restores a bit of health and raises its defense, special defense. If X attack is used next, the user also raises crit chance and sharply raises special attack. If Focus Punch is used next, it guarantees to hit the target. So that's really interesting. So basically it turns Focus Punch, because Focus Punch, the biggest issue, like 360 power is basically a sync move power, except a bit more than a sync move power. But the big issue here is that this thing, you know, has really bad accuracy, 4 accuracy, or for 40 accuracy with that cost 4 bars, with no additional effect, right? And the Mind Skill and Body, it really does give you, you know, it does. I think it does kind of encapsulate Greta's, you know, battle facility decently well, right? So, you know, you could use different effects for each of these moves on the trainer move. As for the passives, whenever the user's attacking move hits the target, the user's speed is raised by 1. When the user misses an attack, the speed sharply lowers. So it discourages you from gambling on that 40% on Focus Punch, and encourages you, you know, to either raise its accuracy or, you know, work with the trainer move over there. And refresh 1 when the user uses a sync move. It refreshes 1 MP, so you could, you know, you could always go use that, Focus Punch, you know, use that again, sync move, Focus Punch. You could keep the cycle going, right? The DPS isn't as crazy as people think, but because do keep in mind, since you need that, you know, guaranteed hit, it's like 2 turns per like 360, right? It's not, which is still really high. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as bad as people might think. And again, the speed's still an issue, right? Yeah, again, I do like the Giga Drain thing as well, right? Instead of instead of like Mastery, really just give, you know, some straight up regen, and the defense increases is nice as well. So yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting concept. All right. Moving on, we have another update concept, right? Over here we got Alistar and right, for the Halloween and Acerola, and like a lot of stuff. We'll quickly go through them. So I think we're getting okay. So again, this is concepts. By the way, someone took like the last like Camilla one, or not someone, like a lot of people took the last Camilla one as like a as like an actual like leak or something. Like, come on, guys. How bigger do I need to write the words concept in the title? Well, technically, I can't write it any bigger because, you know, YouTube doesn't let me choose the font size. But yeah, let's go over this. So Ghost IPX event with Acerola power up exchange. That would be nice. 20 out of 20 of Acerola. Acerola is already super powerful, right? And then yeah, I got Alistar with a story event featuring Alistar searching for his lost Gengar. Kaylin, her new outfit. That's the artist. I don't know why you put a spoiler tag on that. That's kind of weird. Halloween Kaylin only available in the duration of this event, and in the event shop you cannot obtain her by playing through the you do not obtain her by playing through the event. So that's really cool. We do have like free units from the legendary events and stuff, right? But it would also be nice if we also get like free units from, you know, the Halloween or seasonal events, right? It's only like once per year, so why not? And it doesn't have to be too powerful in terms of the units wise, right? Give us some more free units. Come on, come on, DNA. All right, let's check out Alistar over here. So Shadow Claw, Dire Hit, No More Hiding, Cure Status, plus 38% HP, plus 3 attack if the target is poisoned or badly poisoned. It's attack, by the way. And Phantom Force sync move, Unmasked, Shadow Claw, power increase if the target is poisoned, badly poisoned. Toxic Chance 4, that's the Houndoom passive. For those wondering, oh no, it's not the Singsu Leaf one. It's the Houndoom one that you get on the Synchrid for the bite, to give the bite, you know, poison chance. Toxic Power 5. Spirit Heist 3 has a 40% chance of temporarily nullifying the target's passive when the... Oh, this is overpowered. I'm sorry, this is overpowered. This is completely overpowered. Like, a really good example would be this Azelf Legendary Arena, right? Because, like, if you nullified Azelf's passives, in the Legendary Arena, right? Basically, you take away all their damage reduction, and you will do like 70,000 damage on like a random bug buzz without like the damage reduction, right? Because y'all saw what happens with the last bar. It still has some damage reduction, not as severe, but yeah. Yeah, that would be incredibly overpowered. As for the stats are pretty bad though. So I guess it makes up for it with just having all around like terrible stats. Like these stats are like terribly bad. Terribly bad. Does that make any sense? Anyways, he's a free to play unit with Caitlyn and Mega Banana. Shadow Punch, X, Regen, all this support. Strings of Bonds, that's a trainer move. Actually +1 accuracy, or actually +1. And attacked all allies if used by Mega Banana. Also raises the crit rate of all allies depending on the user's remaining HP. It's pretty powerful. Shadow Claw and then Sync move. No additional effect. First passive backfire 1. Second passive gold foil, right? 1.3 times bonus to attacks. User takes 21% on recoil, and then gold foil. When it's mega, turns into critical healing 2, plus 20% HP per crit. So yeah, you're basically trying to go for that for that mega, and you definitely do want crit on Caitlyn. This might be a bit overpowered as well, especially with those defenses like that, right? 20% every crit, which is basically almost every hit, is just way too much, right? You're just healing so much more than generally the damage that you take. But the trade-off is definitely interesting, right? Because you're getting 3 hits, and like although you don't have to, right? You just use like trainer moves and just not take the recoil over there. So again, it depends on how you play that, right? So some suggestions for stamina improvement. It's 2 stamina points per 3 minutes. That'll be a great improvement. But you don't know how it's gonna go. Login bonus will be changed. For stamina, every 7 days get 200 stamina. I don't know about that. Mana potions have a chance to drop every stage, mostly. Not a fan of this, honestly. It has a chance to drop on any stage. This just basically means if you're lucky, you could just play the game nonstop. You get like rank super easily. You get all the materials super easily. And if you're unlucky, you're basically kind of screwed in comparison. This is a bit of an RNG fest. I'm personally not a huge fan. If it's just like limited in event shop, then I'm fine with that, I guess. Anyways, moving on. We got a Brock Tyranitar Synchro expansion concept from Wally, right? So Wally did do, I think, the Hapu expansion concept last time, and this time we got Tyranitar. Let's check it out. So Dust Kicker starts a Sandstorm upon using a Sync move. So got a limited Sandstorm with Tyranitar. Precision Pals on the trainer move. That's nice, I guess. I mean, if we're running it with Garchomp, which very, very likely will, because against Sandstorm, right? Garchomp doesn't really need it. It's basically, I guess, Tyranitar if you want to like Rock Slide someone. Catastrophe powers up moves or sync moves when they crit. Crit Squad +1 ally. +1 crit to all allies when the trainer move is used. That again will help Garchomp as well. Although you really need to. It just saves like Garchomp 1 turn, I guess, in terms of buffing its crit. Flinch Hitter 5, 1.5 times sync damage if the target is flinching. Sandblaster 5, 1.5 times sync damage in Sandstorm. RSF Group Therapy heals all statuses on allies when RSF is used. Rock Slide Aggravation 1. And then, yeah, so this is basically kind of like what they did with Hapu in the last concept video, right? Except this time it's Tyranitar, and it does much more damage on the sync move, right? You got Catastrophe, Flinch Hitter 5, and then like what was it? A Sandblaster 5. So you're doing much more on the sync move over here, and then you also have the tech that you could go ahead and just Rock Slide the opponent and flinch them. Again, it would be pretty nice if we actually got that. Anyways, Let's see. Are there any more concepts that I forgot to go over? This is the Deco one with the Camilla Blaziken, and oh yeah, last one. Let's check out this May one. This May one's pretty interesting. So SS May and Latias. First of all, I really do like this outfit. How she has the Latias symbol on her as well. This one by Scizor Spirit, and it's a tech that's shifts their focus from strike to support with a mega evolution. Okay. I mean that it kind of encapsulates text pretty well. It's sometimes strikes, sometimes supports. So pre mega its stats has very high special attack. And still okay defenses, but once you mega, it decreases your special attack and drastically buffs your well, I wouldn't say drastically, but buffs your defenses and speed as well. So there's that. Going over the kit, Draco Meteor. Again, this is pre-mega, so that you're trying to do damage here. Draco Meteor, Mist Ball, which is same damage as Draco Meteor, except you don't have all the downsides. Draco Meteor, but also costs like 4 bars. Very good chance of lowering the target's special attack. Mist Ball, very powerful over here. Tailwind, double the speed of all allies in the duration of effect. Above the Clouds has a trainer move. 3 bars 2 uses drastically raises uses special attack and crit rate. If used by Mega Latias, drastically raises uses defense and especially he's basically raising like everything that's not like evasion and accuracy, I guess. Pretty costly, but very much worth it. After Mega, you got instead of Draco Meteor, you get Confusion, which is fantastic. It goes from like a 3 gauge, attacking move to a 1 gauge spammable, move that also has a chance to confuse. So that's nice. Tailwind turns into Healing Wish. Personally, not a huge fan of Healing Wish. Honestly, unless you're running double tanks, if your main tank is Latias and your Latias gets taken out, you're kind of screwed. I mean, like, there aren't too many. I mean, there are teams that could survive on 2, but like most of the time, if your main tank goes down, the rest of your team goes down relatively quickly as well, right? So I'm not a huge fan of Healing Wish. Yeah, I think that's that. We also got the passives and some of the grid stuff. Sync move, take the stage, helping hand. Drastically raises users' defense, special defense. Sync buff, damage multiplier becomes 2.0 instead of 1.5. So that's basically the support's EX sync move, except not EX. Sync move just gives you the 2.0 instead of 1.5. Passive skills, Vigilance. Pokemon protected against crits. First aid 4. Follow me. After this Pokemon uses its sync move, makes it the primary target until the end of the battle. Kind of like the U-turn thing as well, except like in reverse. But yeah, you could have someone else tank the first few hits. Hey, this would work perfectly with Scizor, right? You have Scizor tank the first few hits, and then, well, you need to sync, so I guess you have to sync for like both, which wouldn't make too much. Then never mind, scrap that idea. Sync and energy cost, stand move, power, and stats increase tiles. Take the stage, helping hand, recuperation 1. Okay. A friendly care 1. Although recuperation is usually only on sync, so keep that in mind. Above the Clouds, MP refresh 2, Tailwind MP refresh, first aid master healer. Okay. Endurance Dauntless. That 14 might be a bit too costly for Dauntless. I mean, usually stats, lowering, mitigation, grids don't cost too much. They cost like really little. But I do get it synergizes very well with Draco Meteor, but again, it still doesn't cost that much. Like Serena's, who has overheat, by the way. Like Serena's, let's see, Impervious. How much did it cost? Let's see. It cost 10, and Impervious is that's the mitigation of like all stat debuffs, right? And this is only like special attack. So yeah, these are slightly overpriced in terms of the energy. SD1, Weather Surge 3. So again, you could play around the grid, pick if you want an offensive or more defensive grid. Depending on how you want to use Latios, right? But Dazzle 1 lowers accuracy of all opposing sync pairs when the Pokemon enters the battle. On a roll 2, also activates again once you Mega. On a roll 2, raises chance of lowering stat values with the... Okay, that's going to make Mist very, very powerful. One Surfer 3 powers up moves when Tailwind is active. By 3, or not 3 times, 30%, right? So, yeah, anyways, that's me for this one, I guess. So, again, huge props to everyone who did enter. Sorry it took a while. Well, I guess the second batch didn't take that long. But yeah, if you guys, again, do want to enter, you guys could join the Discord link, which is in the description box down below. Again, thanks to everyone who did, work here. And yeah, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video, so around the channel for some more Poem Masters content. Oh, by the way, some little news. The Poem Masters Twitter account actually tweeted out one of my views, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, there's that. Tonight might be update, right? Potentially, so stay tuned for that. Again, the Sunday night, Monday mornings, usually that was that time. So if it does, I'll be here. We'll have all the info as soon as possible. So I'll see you guys then.